The flat fell seam is of particular interest to weavers because it gives a nice neat seam and reduces bulk. So for this piece here, which is a cowl, I needed to join two pieces together, but the fabric is somewhat thick and I wanted to make sure that I could make a nice join without it being a big deal. So I did a flat fell seam, and it looks like this on this side and this on this side. So I'm going to start out showing you on a regular piece of fabric, and then I'll show you on a hand woven piece. Now there's a few different ways of doing this, but this is one way that I've found to be effective, particularly for hand woven. So we've got our two pieces to join here. We're going to join them right sides together as we normally would, and I'm going to, instead of lining up these two edges like I normally would, I'm going to line them up like this, leaving, it's probably about it's about 3/4 of an inch sticking out. And what I want to do is sew really close to this edge, and I'm sewing in black thread so that you can see. So this is what I end up with. I've sewn fairly close to that edge there. There's just a little bit sticking out. And next we need to go to the ironing board for the next step. Okay, so this is our piece that we've got. You'll have to excuse the poor light in here. It's night time and the light isn't very good in this room. So this is what we've sewn our seam along here. And we've got this bit jutting out that was about a 3/4 inch. So what we can do now is we're going to be joining this like so, and we can just take this edge and bring it over so that it meets this edge. Yeah, so that it just meets the edge but doesn't actually go over it, because we are trying to reduce the bulk. Alright, so now we've got that bit folded over. The raw edge is going to be invisible and it'll just fall naturally like this, and we can give it another press. Okay, so that's what we've got now, and then we can go back to the sewing machine for the next step. So now we're ready to sew that folded bit, and we're just going to do what we did before, try and sew close to the edge and make sure that none of our other cloth is caught underneath it. And there we go. So let's take the hand woven cloth now. I had a bit of a mishap with this. It's a scarf, but you see I got this really ugly stain on it, and I don't know what it is, and I tried to get it out and I made it worse. It looks really awful now, and I thought, what could I do about this? I thought for quite a while. And what I'm going to do is actually just cut that section out. I'm going to do a flat fell seam, and then it's still, at least I can wear it as a scarf without this ugly mark on it. So on the other side, I have already ironed some fusible interfacing, and that is my preferred method for when I'm going to cut my hand woven cloth. Okay. Everyone loves it when I do this. And see, there's the ugly stain. I'm just going to cut that right out. There you go, you can stop holding your breath now. Okay, so we're putting those two right sides together. But remember, I'm going to leave one so that it's got some room for hanging over afterwards. And it depends on the thickness of your cloth too. Sometimes you'll want to leave a little bit more than 3/4 of an inch if you're really particular about reducing the bulk. You can pin it, keep everything in one spot. Now I've just realised that I've got black thread in the machine, so I'm going to change that over and come back. Okay, white thread is in, now I'm ready to sew. There we go. Now you'll remember that the next step is to go to the iron and press this one over to meet there. I'm not going to show you that step again, so I'm going to go and do that, and then I will come back and finish off. Okay, so I've ironed that bit over there, and I'm going to sew down the folded edge. As I've mentioned before, my sewing machine does not like bulky fabric. So I have to give it a helping hand. Okay. So there we go. There's the flat fell seam on the bulkier piece. And I would go and give that another press so that it's sitting even more flat. So, hope that helps you. See you next time.